Hello fun people, I'm Carlson and I'm focused on spreading magic by discussing Disney, and I honestly can't believe it's taken me this long to finally discuss how Simba's son Kion lifted Pride Rock. This was by far one of the most epic and unexpected moments in the entire series, and that's why today I'm here to explain this insane moment and how it happened. Also, of course, if you are new here and you would like to stay up to date on all of the magic I share in my discussions, then consider subscribing. The way that Kion suspends Pride Rock in the air is because he had come to master a power known as the Roar of the Elders. You see, we find out throughout the Lion Guard story that as the second-born child of the King of Pride Rock and the inheritor of the position as the leader of the Lion Guard, Kion was granted that mystical power. When he called upon this roar, the great kings of the past granted him a seemingly unstoppable power, and over time, Kion learned that this power could do far more than launching enemies back to the Outlands. For years, he learned to become a brave, noble, and respected leader within the Pride Lands. With his chosen Lion Guard members by his side, he protected his kingdom's animals from all enemies, even a resurrected embodiment of Scar, which was pretty awesome, I must say. But while he had grown a lot, his skills with the roar would need to be trained, and that would come when he was far, far away from his home. On Kion's first visit to one of the few remaining trees of life, which provided healing and safe sanctuaries for animals across the world, Simba's second-born trained under the original Lion Guard leader Ascari that allowed Kion to truly begin to understand the power he possessed. After Kion proved that he had found the strength to detach himself from the roar and allow himself to let it go, he was ready to master the roar completely. Beyond the supersonic roar, extremely precise roars, the ability to call upon rain and summoning spirits, Kion could channel the air and make whirlwinds and could launch lightning. With all that he had learned, he could now go far beyond forcing enemies away, and now he could handle entire armies with pinpoint accuracy while saving his allies at the same time. He was a force that had a deep understanding of the responsibility he held and could now wield it in a way he had never been able to before. But the road to mastery was not over yet. Although he had been understanding the roar his entire time as leader of the Lion Guard, he would first need to give up his power when the time was right. Only by releasing his need of the Roar of the Elders completely could he fully control it. And that opportunity arose when a dangerous foe prepared for war within the Pride Lands, forcing Kion and his friends to go back home.
Only one who is willing to let go of the roar completely can truly master it.
When the hyenas Jasiri and Janja come with the jaguar Azad to the Tree of Life and warn the Lion Guard of Zira's planned attack against the Pride Lands, Kion leads his team back to the kingdom they were enlisted to protect, using the roar to forge an efficient path back, only to discover that Simba, Kion's sister Kiara, and Zira's son Kovu had already de-escalated the conflict. And because of the Lion Guard's absence, Kovu's younger sister Vitani had formed her own Lion Guard to protect the Pride Lands now that they had been welcomed by Simba. And if you'd like to see me completely explain the rise of Vitani's new guard, I'll leave a link to that discussion down below. Now, at first, Vitani's guard troubles Kion, since he had come to believe his entire purpose in life was to serve the Pride Lands. I mean, he even challenges their Lion Guard to face his own in a competition to determine who should have the position. But when Kion sees that Vitani's willing to fight him even without the roar, he sees how brave and committed she truly was to her new home, which makes sense. Vitani had spent practically her entire life living in squalor in the Outlands under a horribly abusive mother, and now that she had a bountiful, safe, and welcoming place to call home, Vitani would never be willing to let it be harmed without her intervening. I think this is a fantastic touch that does justice to the character and sets up the perfect scenario that leads to Kion giving up the Roar of the Elders. Determining that Vitani deserved to be the leader of her own Lion Guard that would watch over the Pride Lands, Kion gave her the roar, and that act proved that he had truly truly mastered its power, because he was willing to pass it on when others needed to wield it. He did not covet the power he possessed, and by showing his detachment and accepting that his next calling was to use the roar of the elders to protect the Tree of Life, since I guess a lion in that land was granted this power as well, we finally get to see Kion unleash the full strength of the roar. Kion's bond with the kings of the past gave him the ability to tear the ground surrounding Pride Rock and lift the entire structure. And I have to admit, I kept wondering if someone was inside of it. Like, could you imagine Simba and Nala waking up from a nap because their son was lifting their home? That would be hilarious and absolutely surreal. In shock and amazement, the animals around Kion could really only gawk at the might that Kion was revealing. The symbol of the Pride Land's leadership and the lions that led this kingdom was literally suspended in midair. Through one of the grandest feats ever shown within the Lion King world, by lifting Pride Rock, we are shown that Kion has pushed aside his ego, gave up his desire for dominance, and was willing to support others who desired to do good, which meant he had finally mastered the roar of the elders. But let me know down below what your thoughts on this mind-blowing moment in the Lion Guard was. Also, make sure to subscribe and click the beautiful bell, and then click on another magical video in the description or on the screen. Finally, as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.